it's DMC to KING. I'ma say this once, I ain't gonna say it again. DMC in the place to be, and the place for you to be is right here with Fred White. Tales from the Pen. Yeah, that's it.
Salute, people. We back. Fred White, Tales from the Pen. If you're new to the channel, go down and hit the subscribe button. Click the bell notification, and then click the word all. This way, anytime I put up a video, you will know about it. So today's going to be a brief video. I just want to talk a little bit, and I want to ask you guys a question. Maybe put it in the comments. What is the definition of an OG? That's what I want to know. Because, you know, I've been seeing so much things, and it's just so crazy to me. Like, the definition of an OG to me is somebody who's older, somebody who maybe lived a certain life at one time, and somebody who's not going to steer these kids in the wrong way, right? Because I get confused sometimes in how an OG can lead a kid astray. How can an OG put a gun in a kid's hand? How can an OG put a pack in the kid's hands, knowing where that road is going to lead them to? It bothers me when I see an OG guiding certain kids on a road that they know that at the end of that road, they're going to fall off into a cliff. And if you're an OG and you took that road, right? You walked that same road and you fell off a cliff. It behooves me that you would still guide the next generation down that same road. Bothers me. Right? To me, a real OG is going to sit back and say, listen, I've traveled that road right there with nothing but bad results. This road here, however, is a much safer road. It's a much more family-orientated road. It's a road that's going to get you further in life. That's an OG to me, man. Like, when I see these OGs guiding these kids the wrong way, it disturbs the hell out of me, man. It really does. You know, an OG is somebody, like I said, who's been through the mill, right? So if you're an OG and you've been to prison stint, numerous prison stints, had a lot of deaths around you, had maybe near-death experiences yourself. If you've been shot, if you've been stabbed, whatever, during the course of the G part of the OG, right? You know, you may have been shot 15 years ago. You may have been all in the name of your organization, all in the name of your hood, right? Why would you then in turn around, you know, whether it be on the internet, whether Instagram, on Facebook, whatever. I'm not just talking, I'm talking about all over the place. I'm talking about in different states. I see it all the time. Texas, Cali, everywhere. And I'm just like, I just fall back and I'm just like, this is weird to me. Why would you want the next generation to suffer like you did? Why? It's our obligation as older people who've been through shit, right? I'm not an OG, you know, I never was involved in certain things, whatever. But I am. I may not be an OG in the sense of the organization-ish, you know, and have that kind of clout. But I'm an OG in the fact that I'm older and I've been through straight G shit. So I'm obligated. It's my duty to let these kids know, these youth know what's really going on in these streets, man. You know what I mean? Because I see a lot of these kids, I keep telling y'all, Instagram is fake, man. This online shit is phony. You can be, it's like the army. You ever see the army commercials? You can be all you can be. You can be all you can be on Instagram. Kids need to stop believing that stuff, man. They need to stop believing these dudes. For real. Like, it upsets me when I see it, and I see it all the time. If you out here promoting bullshit, and you know you're gonna lead these kids astray, like what you online for, man? It's like my man Luck Bill said in his interviews, right? When he talked about these certain rappers and certain things like that. Talking all this killing and selling keys and doing all this shit. Meanwhile, their kids are in private school. Yeah. They not in the hood no more. They kids is going to nice school with uniforms and with other rich kids like them. Shout out to my man Luck Bills. You guys seen the interview. He hit it right on the head with that, man. So stop believing these internet dudes, man. Stop believing it. Because if they really went through craziness, they be trying to give back. OGs give back, man. OGs give back. Understand this. OGs have a lot of influence on this younger generation because some of this younger generation are just lost, man. They have no guidance. They have nobody to look up to. And they're looking up to the OGs. They're looking up to the people who've been before them, who have reputations. If you got a reputation, why don't you turn that shit around and do something positive with it, man? Try to get back. Start letting these kids know that, you know, like I do, about what really happens in prison. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You know I come from a different generation, right? Like, for instance, certain organizations, right? When I was coming up, like, you know, when I went to jail, you know, it was a few years, you know, years before I saw my first organization member, right? Gang member, whatever. But those first, them first group of people, they were recruited because of who they were already. They were recruited because they was already putting in work. All first generation-ish type dudes. This is a fact. I was there. Right? Then later on, it got watered down. Right? Because I see, you know, and I'm using this as an example because there's such a, like, disenfranchise or a disconnect or whatever between this younger generation of organization members and the older ones. You know, different music, different clothes, different everything. Right? Sometimes it's a whole, you know, sometimes a lot of these guys too, I see, you know, in these streets, a lot of the younger dudes, sometimes they don't respect the older cats. He don't know what's going on, as if the older cats weren't their age. You're right, it is a different generation. In my time on Rikers Island, man, it was who you were. You know what I'm saying? It was who you were. Y'all know I was, you know, in the 80s, and I went upstate in 90, you know. The gang stuff ain't start till 93, 94. I was already upstate. I tell you, I ain't seen my first gang member till like 96, 90. I already had damn near 97. I had damn near 10 years in already. Right? But I know that a lot of the first generation ones, they was real. Because again, they was recruited for that. As it grew, it just became more of a numbers game, and people, you know, people were being accepted. Because let's just keep it real, man. Not every organization member is fucking gangster, man. But when they say they're that organization, it puts a little ooh, right? Because really, the reality is that's all they have, right? Like, that's just the way it is. Like, they would recruit all types of people, and I seen it all the time. Dudes was, you know, a lot of these dudes were soft. But the numbers game, right? Nowadays, you go to Rikers Island and you're a certain organization. They know who you are. They know it. They ask you what you are. Most people give it up. Yeah, I'm such and such. So what do? They take them and they put them in a house with 20 others. You see that? Right? There's some, right? If you're tough, you say you nothing. Because you don't want to be labeled by the New York system. Because once you go in and they ask you what you are, it's a setup. Number one, you're going to say what you are because you want to be placed with what you are to make it easy, right? Some gangster dudes I know said, I'm nothing. And wherever they land, they land. Now that's gangster. You see what I'm saying? Because now once you're labeled that, you're labeled that forever. Anytime you go to Rikers Island, anytime you're labeled that. So again, you go with 15, 20 of your kind in a house. Of course you run in the house, right? It became easy. In my time, it was who you are, who you were as a person. It was, would you stand up or not? And that's it. That's the way it was. Again, it was on some borough shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the Queens dudes stuck together, Brooklyn dudes, Bronx dudes. That's the way it was. The guard bodies, the Muslims. You know what I'm saying? You know, when I did go upstate, yes, the Latin Kings were already, you know, they were already situated. But I'm just saying, but it bothers the fuck out of me when I see some of these dudes who've been through real shit, man, not trying to give back. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to give back to these kids and letting them know what really happens. I wish I could do more, and I'm going to start doing more, you know, in the community and stuff like that, just to, you know, put forth the effort. But right now, this is what I'm doing. Right now, I'm hoping that some of these kids understand through my words when I paint that picture, so that they understand, man, you know what? I don't want to go through this shit either, man. I don't want to do it. So to the OGs, man, out here, you know, and salute to all of them. Salute to all the positive ones. Salute to ones who's trying to make a difference in their community. Salute to the ones who ain't trying to bring up the crime rate in their community. All for the sake of clout. Salute to them. But to the ones promoting bullshit, ones promoting negativity, to the ones, I mean, the reality is like if you still promoting craziness, right? Instead of trying to help these kids, if you're still promoting craziness, it's just a matter of time before you back behind that wall. Anyway, it's not like when is, you know, if it can happen. When it's definitely gonna happen if you still promoting bullshit. Because again, man, I keep telling everybody, with the technology they have, with the cameras they have, with these phones that they have stuff that you don't even, hasn't even come out yet. Like, they have stuff that you don't even know about yet. Right? I'm talking about law enforcement. You know, they have stuff that you wouldn't even know about it until you're on trial or until you're arrested, and then they say they have this technology, and you're like, fuck. It's just not worth it. But yeah, man, I just wanted to come on here because I seen a video. Shout out to My Song, right? I seen a video that My Song did, and it was like some of the words that I'm saying and some of what I've been saying for 2 years now. You know, and it was very, very powerful and enlightening. Like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. My Song is, you know, it's like one of them dudes. He's been through craziness. He's seen craziness, and he don't want to destroy these kids, man. He knows. He knows, you know, what it feels like to be locked in that cell. He knows what it is to be strip searched. He knows what it is to have to be, you know, maybe fighting wars, and he knows all this type shit. So he's the one that, you know, he's the one that I'm saying is like somebody you should follow, right? Again, shout out to My Song. You know, he inspired this video because I'm like, you know what? I was going to clip his video and put it up, but I'm like, I say these same things all the time anyway. This is what I said. I've been saying this for 2 years. It's just crazy to me, man. Kids, listen to me. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you, man. It's better to stay in school. It's better to get your education. And it's better to be a square. It's right. It's hip to be square, right? It's okay to be square. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Get your education and stay your ass out the streets, because you already know the motto. The hood don't love you, man. Because again, if these older dudes that's influencing the next generation, if they really love their people, if they really love their kids, if they really love the youth, then they would be telling them to do something positive. Because let me let you in a little secret. Nobody that loves you, nobody that cares about you, I mean really cares about you and your future, is going to put you in the wrong path. No one that loves and cares about you is going to put a gun in your hand. No one that really loves and cares about you is going to put drugs in your hand. No one's going to do that. That really cares about you, that really loves you. Okay? So like I always say, the streets don't love you, y'all. The streets don't love you, kids. Listen to what I'm telling you. Because you go to jail, life just goes on, man. That block that you was protecting is still going to be there. You're going to come home 20 years later and that stop sign is still going to be on that corner, man. Like the sign, stop. Fall back. Find something positive to do with your life. If you're doing something negative, it's just, you're going to get caught. Definite. It's just a matter of time. And that's how this thing works, man. Gotta run, people. You already know the motto, man. Experience is the greatest teacher, but somebody else's experience could be just as valuable if you pay attention and listen. On that note, people, Fred White, signing off.